Welcome in, and thank you for joining me again. We will stay for a couple hours tonight if everybody wants to. We're just doing a trivia series. These are, pardon me, meant to be tests. I noticed last week that my microphone was seemed distorted. What I'm going to try to do tonight is just talk a little bit calmer and see if that does anything for it. There's background music tonight as well. And I just realized as I was uploading it that it's probably going to restart every time we get into another game. So what we'll do is we'll start with history. We'll move on to television, like TV shows, geography, music. We'll see how everybody feels about it, and we can stay, like I said, up until a couple of hours. The games usually take between 15 or 20 minutes, and it's easy to play. You just pick a multiple choice answer, 1, 2, 3, or 4, pop it in the chat as fast as you can, and that will have you participating in the game. But thanks everybody for being here. Oilers fans forever, Oilers fan forever. Good to see you back in the house. Our Moon, thank you for being here. Andy Heinrich, good to see you in the house. Yeah, there's no way to turn the volume down. I don't know why that is. It is something that is perplexing me. If that makes sense. Has me perplexed. Is that the right way to say that? I can't, for the life of me, find a setting to change the microphone. Yeah, they just don't have a... it's weird, they got a volume on the background music, but they don't have a volume on the microphone. Let me know if the background music is too loud, though. I just want it to be barely even, like, just if I was to shut up for 2 seconds, which I never do, you'd be able to hear the background music, so it wouldn't be dead silence. But I don't really want it to be a part of the show. One of the things I notice about YouTube is almost everybody has their background music louder than it needs to be. It truly is meant to be in the background, but just let me know if you can. Matty J88, good to see you in the house. Mr. Fulton Mraz is a long time friend. He celebrated a birthday on Thursday and is keeping the birthday week going. So happy birthday, Mr. Fulton Mraz. Lisa J. Stocks, thanks for coming in. Oilers fan forever has been here, been here enough to know to drop the link. Andy Heinrich's making me laugh. Yeah, Pink Floyd. The one thing I do is I actually own a lot of copyright-free music. I have another channel that's just for the music, and it costed a small fortune. But I actually own the rights to all of it. It's published legitimately everywhere. But this way, I know forever that either me or my friends will be able to have music that we know is 100% copyright free for a long time. So it's probably not even suitable for what we're doing because the music's like nightclub housey stuff, and it's way too upbeat for what we're doing here. But that's another reason why I'm hoping it's quiet enough. But again, if anybody finds it to be too loud or annoying, just let me know and I'll knock it down a little bit. It should be pretty low. But thanks again, everybody, for coming in. We're just about a minute away from the first game. So we'll start with history. We'll move on to television and geography, and we'll see how everybody feels about it then. But I did plan that tonight we'd start an hour earlier so that we can stay up until a couple hours in total if everybody would like. That'll be about midnight in the Eastern time zone. And I'm not sure if we're going to end up seeing questions that we've already seen before. I did refresh everything before we started, but I'm still using their internal AI system for the questions and answers for now. Although they allow you to use other AI tools or write the questions and answers out yourself if you want to. I'll probably use something like ChatGPT or Google, Bard eventually to mix these questions up a little bit more. But we're just about ready to go. So again, thank you everybody for being here. Get your trigger fingers ready to go. We'll be on to our first question in a second. King Henry VIII was the second monarch of which European royal house? And thanks everyone for playing along. As a kid, I had family vacation. We went to a place called Wasaga Beach in Ontario, Canada, and rented a cottage for a couple weeks. And as a kid, you know, you got to find activities to do. They'd give us all kinds of like crayons and markers and books to color and stuff like that. But they did get me a Chipmunks album that had the Henry VIII song on it. So every time I hear the word King Henry VIII, the song goes in my head. Surf, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. And for anybody that's got a YouTube channel, you can type !link at any time in the chat, and Nightbot will come along and drop your link for you. Tudor, is that the way we pronounce that? Good work, Sean and Andy. Sean Barnes, good to see you in the house, by the way. Hope I haven't missed anybody, but thanks everybody for playing along. Each one of the games has 10 questions, and we'll move on to another category. So for tonight, it'll be all categories. Last week, we just did general knowledge all night. During World War II in 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the two Japanese cities of Hiroshima and what other city? Oh, it seemed like gaming last week, yes. Thank you very much. St. Louis 50, good to see you in the house. St. Louis by 50. Thank you for being here. We're just playing for fun today. This is kind of a test series of live streams. But I do appreciate everybody playing along. There's Scratch and PPA. He put out a brand new video today, which is uncommon for our friend Scratch and PPA. He usually premieres on Tuesdays at 12:15 Eastern. He'll have a premiere tomorrow. Nagasaki was our answer for that one. You'll have to assume I'm telling the truth if I say that I knew the answer before it comes, but I promise you I'm learning as much as anybody during these streams. And Philip Quintong, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. I know that's a friend of Jeff Lepard. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. Absolutely unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Which of the following ancient peoples was not classified as Hellenic? Is that how we pronounce that? Forgive me for not knowing or being sure. And it means Greek. Which was not classified as Greek? Andy's always quick on the draw. Matty J88 also. History wouldn't be my strong suit, that's for sure. In grade school, we did some politics, but it was all Canadian politics, of course, because I happened to be in Canada. I did really well during those classes, but the rest of the time, I wish I'd have paid attention more. I wish I knew more now than I actually do. Interesting. Interesting. Nobody got the right answer on that one. I certainly would have. I would have been guessing. But thanks again, everybody, for playing along. Like I said, we got 10 questions in each game, and the games take about 15 minutes, almost 20. But we could stay up to another. We can stay up to 2 hours if everybody would like today. Which of these countries remained neutral during World War II? These questions are all part of the AI system from which I am using the streaming software. So live reacting is what it's called. But it does give you the chance to insert your own questions and answers. So we'll think about that as time goes on. get into some other AI tools like ChatGPT or Google Bard or things like that. Which country remain neutral? I have to guess on this. Like I said, my history is not great. But if I was to guess, I'd say the country that's always neutral. Or seems to be. And there it is. Ara, good work on that one. Andy got that as well. And there's Nightbot letting everybody know that they'll drop the link for you if you have a YouTube channel. How's everybody feeling about these Monday nights also? This is the easiest night of the week for me to be able to do these streams. Who was the first president of the United States? Angel Puff 215, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. The easiest way to answer here is with just a number, just because everybody will be doing that, or almost everybody, and it'll be a lot faster for you to type in a number than a word of any kind. Ariel Williams, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Andy likes Monday night. I intend to keep them Monday nights, at least for the coming weeks. And then we'll see what's going to happen with this. If everybody's enjoying it, we'll keep it going. Maybe even in a more serious fashion. There you go, George Washington. Not as if I would have known for sure or got that right. I would have had a 50-50 split on that. We'll see what's going to happen with our next question. We're halfway through the history category. We'll move on to television shows. Who was the first Prime Minister of Canada? Is it all right if I say, can we hurry up and find out who's going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada? We got to watch what we say. I know some of the people in the chat came to my channel, for which I'm grateful, through the Freedom Convoy stuff I was filming the last couple of falls, a couple years ago, and this and that. And I did get a strike for a stream. So I still have yet to repost all that stuff on Rumble and everything else, but I had to pull that down because 3 strikes and you're out, and we have enough content up there that could get the channel wiped out all at once. So we got to dance around what we say. And there you go, John A. McDonald. Thank you, St. Louis by 50. Yeah, we're lucky to be able to have been there. But boy, did they ever clamp down on a lot of stuff after that. How long did World War II last? Seems like the whole categories surrounding World War II. But again, these are just questions that come up through the AI system that's internal here. R is really trigger happy today. Getting in there quick. It'll be interesting to look back on history another 10 or 20 years from now and see how the different types of wars and things that we've been through in our lifetimes will be reported. I wonder how accurate that will be or feel. Everybody see what's happening with Twitter too? Rebranding? They might not be calling it Twitter for very long anymore. I'm shocked. Twitter's been ingrained. in our beings for the last, 20 years, if not 30. There you go, Scratching PPA saw it. I wasn't on today. I'm away from a lot of stuff on Mondays. That's why I do these streams so late. He was among those killed in the 2010 Smolensk, Russia plane crash tragedy. Pardon me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Like I said, I promise you I'm learning as much as anybody, if not more, while we do these streams. If what I read today is true, Twitter intends to add in a lot of other things into their app. They intend to do dating. They intend to do some kind of a payment system. So that makes me wonder if crypto is on the horizon. They've got this romance going on with Dogecoin, and I almost feel like it might be worth dumping a little bit into that. But I am no financial advisor. Any crypto I have is worth less than half of what it was when I first bought it. I intend to go down with the ship on all that, but I do know that if payments are going to come up, then Elon Musk will have something interesting in mind. Matty J is always looking to buy a vowel. Did they switch it already, Andy? I was on the app for a second. I saw a little bit of it from somebody named Dan, I think, a popular thing. In 1453, which important city fell? Yeah, imagine. Oh, I hope I'm not going to lose my system here. We'll see what the answer is here. Matty J. It'd be great if it could accept that afterwards, right? If we could correct ourselves. I would have not guessed. I'm learning a lot today. One more question and then we'll move on to television shows. And like I said, for today, we'll do 100% categories. We can stay up to midnight Eastern if you guys would like, which is another long beyond hour and a half. There's the Stock Explorer. Good to see you in the house. They were on earlier, scratching lottery tickets. They do scratch battles. In what year did the Great Northern War between Russia and Sweden end? You'd have me stumped on this one as well. Yeah, Jesse Miller Unboxings and More is a longtime friend. And we're just doing trivia. These are almost like test streams. I just want to see how these work out and how everybody enjoys them. Maybe we'll continue them after the summer and maybe even move into more seriously, if that makes sense. The Stock Explorer's worn out. They were doing scratch battles on their channel. The Stock Explorer does a lot of lottery ticket scratching, as does Scratching PPA. It's interesting because I've got a lot of friends that do a lot of different things on YouTube now. And it's interesting to see the different twists that people put on their content. Oh, interesting. Wow. That one got everybody stumped. We'll have to get the fact checkers on these. I'm assuming the answers are right because the same AI system that comes up with the questions and stuff is the same one from the stream. Drawing on its own system, so I'm sure they would have taken the time to fact check and make sure everything's in order. It's funny because when I talk about this trivia now, and other things that I'm working on, I say, not everybody loves trivia, but everybody loves trivia, right? So thanks everybody. Look at that, Surf, brand new for trivia as a leader today. Number one, Andy Heinrich and Sean Barnes. Good work, and thank you everybody. So let's move on to television shows. If anybody needs a drink or anything else, we've got a couple of minutes. It's easy to play. You just pop a number in the chat corresponding to the answer that comes up on the screen. Kid Wonder is in the house, another longtime friend. It's interesting because I've been on YouTube for 6 years now, and some of the friends that I've had are getting into years of friendship here. St. Louis getting their wife to play? Yeah, teams are okay, nobody can see. Put the channels in. I'm not sure what you mean, Jesse Miller, unboxings and more. If you want to drop your YouTube channel link for all my friends with YouTube channels, just type the word link there like you saw with an exclamation mark, and Nightbot will come along and drop your link just like that, and everybody can get to you easy if they'd like to. When the questions come back up on the screen, we'll have 10 questions of television shows. And when the questions come up on the screen, you'll be given 4 answers. Each one of the answers has a number, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just drop that number in the chat as fast as you can. Yeah, you just put the number in, and the system knows the channels and everything, Jesse Miller. It just knows. It literally, some of these things are magic. They have, this system has crosswords and word searches and other things in it as well. Trivia I'm doing for a reason, but we've seen like a lot of creators, especially that we know together, as playing the game Words with Friends, right, which is a popular app, but it's also available online, and they put that in the streams too. You just pop the answers in, and it just magically gets it. Catherine KK, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Jesse Miller. What was the name of the police officer in the cartoon Top Cat? I'll be interested to see how many people get this right, because this is something I've never seen that I know of. I always wonder how many people are guessing. Crying Hippie, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Hope I haven't missed anybody. But thanks everyone for playing along. Andy's guessing. Interesting. So a couple of you knew that. I haven't seen that Top Cat before that I know of. Yeah, whichever name's the coolest, right? In the Star Trek universe, what color is Vulcan blood? I can't tell you how many times I've had the argument over human blood. Whether it changes color when it gets oxygen or not. What are we going to call Twitter then? Is it just going to be called X? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I didn't see it in the app. I saw it on the... I'm looking at it in another window here just to see if my stream here got dropped automatically, which it looks like it did not. I could be mistaken. Green, interesting. I really did have the argument with somebody not too long ago about the blue. Yeah, there you go, Stock Explorer, yeah. The Game of Thrones, what is Littlefinger's real name? Still, I haven't watched that show. I wonder if I can log into Twitter. You usually end up getting all of the different social networks. When they come out, I always want to see how they work and everything like that. Remember Threads? That was quick. When they come out, I always want to see how. See if I can get this going on Twitter here. And thanks again, everybody, for playing along. Andy's guessing again. Surf is guessing. John's guessing. Interesting. As far as I know, that show's like unbelievably, isn't it? Like #1 or extremely popular and stuff. I got a really hard. I don't watch enough, or well, I shouldn't say enough, but I don't watch much television. But I have a really hard time finding anything I like. In DuckTales, what is the name of the city where all the main characters live? I think I know this, but it's still a guess. Still a guess. I put out a shorts video the other day, and it actually did, I think it's my top performing one on YouTube. And it was just of the divers at Canada's Wonderland, which is a huge theme park, but it's close. Been there zillion times, but we went a couple of weeks ago and filmed. They've got a huge waterfall with a mountain and everything like that, and these divers do these spectacular dives that I'd never dare. It was interesting to see that thing move a little bit. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I would have got that wrong. I would have been guessing and got it wrong. Yeah, thank you, Scratch and Keep PA. It's interesting because we've got some friends now that have gotten shorts videos. I think we've got one friend that I know of that I can think off the top of my head. I can't remember which channel it is, and they've got them into the millions. But we've got a few friends that have got them into the hundreds of thousands, 300. One of them is over 700,000. What is the name of the main character in the Flash TV series? Oh, I think I know this. I think I know. Yeah, Tailspin is what I would have guessed on the last one. Lori Jean, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. Hope I haven't missed anybody. But thanks everyone for playing along. We can stay up to another hour and a half if everybody would like. Wanted to keep this going today. We'll keep switching categories after every 10 questions. They usually last about 15 to 20 minutes each game. My girlfriend and her daughter watched this, so I would have got that right if I'd have guessed, but that's because they've watched it so much. I think I've caught it. We're halfway through television. We'll move on to geography in a little while. But we'll keep alternating things. So geography, we'll move on to music if everybody would like to. If we're still at it, we'll mix up the categories some more. How many seasons did the sci-fi television show Stargate Universe have? Crow's Nest, good to see you here. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Margaret Seeger, thanks for being here. Is it okay to like both Star Trek and Star Wars? Because I think I like them both. Obviously, Star Trek is a lot more slow-paced a lot of the time. But between both, and then Stargate Universe and other things like that are so similar, right? In my opinion. Interesting. That stumped everybody, that one. Only 2 seasons. I'm interested to see that. Too. I'm interested to know that because I would have thought it would have done better. Popping the popcorn. Good to see you in the house. That's Katie. She does movie reviews on her channel, so we might be up against a pro when we get into movies in a while. In Star Trek Voyager, which episode did Voyager establish real-time communication with Starfleet headquarters? I didn't even realize there were so many series. You know, if this would be on television, if I'd walk in the room and somebody was watching it, I wouldn't even realize we're watching one series versus the other. I think you'd. I wonder how many people are guessing on this one, because to know the name of an episode of a television show, you got to be a true fan. I think. Never watched Star Trek at all, eh, Surf? Pathfinder, interesting. So Maddie J and Ariel. It only shows a couple of correct answers on the first screen here, and then it'll move on to a leaderboard later and show us who got the highest number of correct answers the fastest. Edie's Kitchen, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. Thank you everybody for being here, especially if you're here for the first time. And there you go, Ghostly Wins. Yeah, good to see you here. It's almost fun to go back and watch some of the early ones just to see the different filming that went on, what we thought was great at the time, right? Who was the first ever actor to play the Doctor on Doctor Who? I wonder if I would know this. I'd be guessing, because I don't know actors' names as well as a lot of people do, even just from pop culture. But even as a young lad, I used to watch Doctor Who. Our family did. Me and my sister and my father would watch way too much television. Doctor Who was part of it. We got one friend with a Doctor Who channel. At least one. Tom Baker. Interesting. was one that stumped a few people. Oilers fan forever got that. Oh, there you go. Ghostly wins. Still on TV today, popping the popcorn. Are they still making new episodes? I didn't know. I'm not fully surprised because I know how big that got, especially in the last many years. In Rick and Morty, who shot Mr. Poopy Butthole in the episode Total Recall? Oh, goodness. Oh, Ghostly Winds from Australia has a Doctor Who fan in the house. Even Rick and Morty I hadn't seen. It's funny how many things come through pop culture. I haven't seen them. I like to watch like one episode of everything, even if I don't intend to watch a lot of it or whatever, just to kind of see some of the pop culture references and things. Oh, Andy Heinrich might not be doing as well as usual with television shows. Oh, first girl doctor on Doctor Who. Interesting, pop in the popcorn. When you mention that, it makes me surprised to hear that. So Catherine and Lori got that one from Rick and Morty. I tend to get set in my ways. It takes me a long time to like something, especially I usually hate things when I first see them. I know that's harsh, but it's true. I hear things like a new TV show and I'll say like, oh, that's awful, I don't like it at all. And then I end up becoming a fan and watching every season. I won't give anything else a chance. In 2.5 Men, what is Alan Harper's son's name? I think I know this one. Yeah, I would have got that. It looks like most of us know that one. I saw a few episodes of that. I could not believe how big that show got. I don't know what it is that made that show so popular. I just don't see anything different in it from a lot of other sitcoms, and I like sitcoms. There you go, Andy. Not doing too bad after all. Yeah, it looks like it, Surf. Yes, looks like it. I just couldn't believe how big it got. It was big before the whole Charlie Sheen explosion. I know a lot more about the pop culture references than I do about the shows a lot of the time. Ariel Williams, wow, and Ara Moon has to be happy. She's been here, I think, every week. Maddie J88, not bad, and thank you everybody for playing along. So we'll go on to geography now. I'm trying to mix the categories up just because something like geography and history seems a little more serious to me, and then television, music, and movies seem, a little more similar. Patrick Hollett, good to see you in the house from New Brunswick, from Newfoundland. He put out a couple videos today as well. Katie's kitchen is getting ready. If anybody needs a drink or anything like that, I figure 3 minutes is probably a good break time, right, in between the categories here. You guys can let me know if you think it's too long or too short or whatever. And again, these are more like test streams than anything else. This one I pushed out there a little bit more, just to see if it builds up a little bit. And then after the summer, we'll keep them going probably for the rest of the summer, and then we'll see how everybody likes it. Maybe we'll continue. Trivia's rigged. I think you say that every week, Oilers fan. Oh, interesting, Jesse Miller. Isn't Margaret? Is geography not a separate class still? We had to take geography all through grade school, and I think we had to take one geography class to get high school credits. I grew up in Toronto, Canada. Um, we would have to have one geography, one history. I think we had to have 4 or 5 English, which means literature or writing, and then we'd have to have several math, but I'm not sure how much. But that was math was my thing. So yeah, it's interesting to see how the differences. Like, I always consider Canada and the United States to be so similar, but there are cultural differences, and not that that necessarily comes down to education. But I wonder about the education system. Some of that comes down to availability of finance, political sway from the communities as well. What they find is more important. You might find some areas, I'm imagining, with more art focused, and then you might find some with more science and math focused. In our system, when I was in school, we would have it until grade 12, and then 13 was optional if you wanted to move on to university, which, as far as I understand, is classed differently here in Canada than it is in the States. Somebody let me know recently that it's possible college and university are considered the same thing in the United States, whereas Canada are different. University to be a higher level of college, if that makes sense. And grade 13, if you wanted to call it that, would be for extra credits so that you could target a university if you want to go there. What state is the largest state of the United States of America? I think I know this. I'll admit it if I'm wrong. Oh, I was wrong. I thought it was Texas. I figured if I was going to be wrong, it'd probably be Alaska. Much like Canada, being up here, it has a lot of landmass, right? When I was young teenager, when I was mid-high school age, and thinking about driving but still riding bicycles and things, a friend of mine was a few years older, and what he had in his bedroom at home was a map of Toronto, and then another city close by that we used to go to. It's called Brampton, but whatever. And the map was on the bedroom wall all the time, so that whenever we had to go somewhere, he had to go somewhere, would like put a pin on the map or understand. So we knew the streets very well. I've probably not retained all I did. I know Toronto well enough. Of course, I was born, raised, and grew up here. I continue to work around Toronto today, some of the week, but that was how we did it. Which of these is not an Australian state or territory? Oh, thank you, Matty J. I hope it's not too loud. It's just meant to be there if I happen to stop talking, which I never do. So, Alberta. Alberta's up here with us. Not down under, as they say. Yes, absolutely. The Stock Explorer. Come Hither with Heather is a YouTube channel along with Werner's Adventures and Drew's Adventures. These creators are friends, and they're going to be coming up to Canada, and I expect to meet up with them at least once. What is the capital of Jamaica? This one I know. I'm sure I do. I'll admit it if I'm wrong, but you might be interested to know on one of my other YouTube channels. My most popular countries are in order: United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Jamaica. Or it was for a long time. It changes over time, but Jamaica's always been a heavy-hitting country in my second channel. I can't remember for the life of me if I ever saw that movie, the Jamaican bobsled team, the Cool Runnings movie. The analytics, especially when it comes to that, can really let you know a lot about potential in videos and things like that if you're going to put them up. Kingston, there you go. Last week we were doing this, and I put a poll out in the chat to ask everybody if they like the idea of categories the way we're doing things today, or if they just like general knowledge. And I was surprised to find that it was almost a 50-50 split. I was really expecting people to like one or the other better. Which of these African countries lists Spanish as an official language? This one I have to admit I'm learning. I had no chance on this one. Cannibal 621, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Maddie's guessing again. In Canada, a lot of times I think was it our final exams, or was it only in the math categories of classes? We used to have to do these tests. I don't remember now. We used to have to like use a pencil and fill in the multiple choice. You fill in a circle on a sheet, and they had this machine that reads it. Junkyard Gamer, good to see you in the house. Hope I haven't missed anybody. Thanks everybody for playing along. In the middle of the questions, or any time at all, if anybody wants to drop their link in the chat, you can just type !link the way that I'm doing here, and Nightbot will come along and drop your link for you so everybody can connect to you if they'd like to. Junkyard Gamer, I am living the dream as always. Thank you for asking. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Tori's Brain, good to see you in the house. He actually does a lot of word games on his channel. He does the Words with Friends, I think, and a couple of others. He does a really good job over there. The Space Needle is located in which city? This one I know because I talk about it all the time. In Toronto, we have, of course, the CN Tower, which is a worldwide known landmark. And then I happen to live in Niagara Falls, Canada, and they have a smaller version of it, if you want to call it that, called the Skyline Tower. So when I talk about them, I mention, oh, they're similar to the Space Needle, and they have restaurants in them, and they rotate, so you can go up there and have a meal. Last check was around $200, let's say Canadian, and it takes about 90 minutes to do a full spin, which is just enough to order and eat, right? If you're having steaks or things like that. Oh, Calgary has a tower as well. Forgive me for not knowing. Margaret, yeah, I may not have known. Yeah, Junkyard Gamer, I'm probably yelling at the camera again. It shouldn't be. I keep forgetting that. I know it sounds distorted, but this system I'm using, which is called Live Reacting, doesn't have a volume control for the mic, so I'm going to have to figure that out outside. And then, how many stars are featured on New Zealand's flag? That's interesting, Sean Barnes. I never thought of that, but you're right. Yes, I've done videos where I looked at that as well. The Skyline Tower in Niagara Falls, the elevators are on the outside. They look like little pods that slide up and down the outside of the building, whereas in the CN Tower, they're enclosed. Yep. Yeah, I've had great experiences at both CN Tower and the Skyline Tower. You have to know that these places, it's nice that they're touristy and everything else, but they have to live on their reputation, right? So you would expect to have a good experience there. 4 stars on New Zealand's flag. Whether or not I might have known that by thinking about it, I'm not sure, but I certainly wouldn't have got it. I might have been guessing. So we're just more than halfway along. This is our third game for today, but we can keep going for another hour if everybody would like a little bit more. What is the name of New Zealand's indigenous people? St. Louis. I don't know if we can answer with two. Wouldn't that be nice? You could just put 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat, and the system will just count you for everyone. Oh, and like I've said every week, I'm probably learning as much or more than everybody else by doing this. I didn't even consider that, trivia is trivia. And I've done some other trivia things in the past, particularly when it comes to music. I've done, worked in bars and nightclubs and restaurants and things like that. When we have done things like trivia, I've had little trivia games, but that's old school, like printing on a piece of paper and having people run up as fast as they can get the answers down. That's interesting, Matty J88. Beer and pizza after trivia, imagine. What's the capital of Spain? Oh, I think I know. I think I know what it is. I'm going to embarrass myself by admitting how many of these answers I'm not going to get. We'll have to see. I'll always tell the truth. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you that I'm wrong. I figured for this one it was going to be Barcelona, but if I was wrong, I'd say it was Madrid then. They used to play a lot of video games when my son was growing up. Rather play video. Oh, see? Look at that. I would have got it wrong. It's Madrid. I would have thought it was Barcelona. We played a lot of racing games. I can't remember the names of the games right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Just like, Formula One racing or whatever those things are. And we would play, and Barcelona would be a popular city. If I remember right, I could be wrong, but if I remember right, I would have guessed Barcelona on that one and said it would have been Madrid if I was wrong. So interesting. Which country was not part of the Soviet Union? Oh, interesting, the Stock Explorer. That might be something that would have swayed that answer in people's minds as well. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this. It's really just a test. We've been doing this every week for the last few weeks, playing trivia, and we'll keep it going for the rest of the summer. That's the intention, and then we'll see how everybody feels about it. Maybe we'll take it to the next level afterwards. Surf is guessing on this one. I would have had to guess. Tori's Brain, yeah, this is a different system. Tori's Brain does a lot of games on his channel. Actually, what he does a lot more professional looking than what is going on here. This is a more primitive looking system, but they got a few games in here in live reacting. Pardon me, they've got crossword for one. I think there's a word search one. There's quite a bit to it, but it's limited in some features. Like you hear my mic is distorted. I don't really think there's any reason for that because I'm using the same microphone that I use all the time. I'm using a Razer Kaio, and that's what I've been using for literally a couple of years now on everything that I do. What is Lao? I'm not sure if we pronounce that Laos or Lao, so forgive me for being wrong. This one I happen to know. Crying hippie knows. Yeah. That's how I knew. I might not have known, but yes. A friend of ours, Orchidelia, is the reason I know the answer. Thank you, Margaret. Yes, it is a country. We have at least one YouTuber friend from Laos. And forgive me again, because I'm not sure whether we pronounce it Lao or Laos. It's one or the other to describe the country and one or the other to describe its people, if I'm right. I could be wrong, of course. And thanks, everybody. Again, that's our third game. So we'll just keep it going as long as we can. Matty J88, wow, and Scrow's Nest coming in late, but catching a serious position number 2 there. And then St. Louis by 50. Thank you for that. And they might be neighbors, St. Louis. They might be neighbors, but I know Laos is its own thing. So let's move on next to music. And thank you, everybody, for playing along. We'll take a break again for Oilers fan forever says the same thing. We'll take a break for a couple minutes if anybody needs a drink or anything like that. We'll come back with music. This, of course, is all just for fun. Like I said, it's just a test right now. We'll see how everybody likes it, and if everybody enjoys it, we'll keep it going after the summer. And like I said, maybe we'll take things a little more seriously as well. But as long as everybody's having fun. I'm learning a lot. I'm hoping I'm retaining much of what I'm learning. Thank you, St. Louis. Grinch, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. It is a change of pace, that's for sure. Oilers is putting time limits on it, yep. This is something I'm just trying out. There's always a method to the madness, but I wanted to see. Because while, I keep saying this all the time, but while not everybody loves trivia, everybody loves trivia, right? Actually, I went to a movie for the first time in a long, long time. I forget if it was, I think it was just last week. And saw Mission Impossible, actually. But that was just the choice out of what was playing. I don't even remember what else was playing. I haven't been to many movies. That was in a theater, and then earlier in the summer, I actually went to the drive-in one night as well. But in between the movies, you know, they've got trivia. That's something that I think has always been a thing on the screen. That's the one movie I probably won't end up making time to go see. But I do have to learn about it because I bet you, if we were to guess now, that those are going to be the #1 Halloween costumes of the year. I think that probably goes without saying, but Barbie and Ken will be showing up everywhere and whatever other characters are predominant in the movie. Thank you, Junkyard Gamer. And then I gotta learn about the music. I got a gig coming up just for 2 nights. Something I did last year, but it's just for 2 nights this time. But whatever song is popular in the Barbie movie. I heard I think it's Nicki Minaj, isn't it? I heard it and I didn't enjoy that at all. The original Aqua Barbie Girl song is something almost everybody's probably playing every day again right now on every dance floor. But if there's another popular song, I'll have to know it for those things. Who had a 1969 top 5 hit with a song "A Boy Named Sue"? Oh goodness, I'd be guessing that. Even I was a DJ for like 25 years, but I didn't play a lot of what would have been considered classics even back then. I feel like I should know this, but I'm not sure. No matter what the answer is, hasn't like every artist been canceled by now? Oh, interesting. Sean Barnes knows. I would have been guessing that. That would be a track I almost guarantee I wouldn't have on vinyl. I still have all my vinyl records. I still buy records occasionally. I've really calmed down over the last couple of years. And there you go. So Johnny Cash. Each one of these games has 10 questions, and then we'll move on to another category afterwards. Just to mix things up. But hopefully everybody's enjoying it. Brian May was the guitarist for which band? Oh God, I'm going to embarrass myself by telling you how many of these answers I don't know already. Classic rock is something I wouldn't have to play as much as people might think. When I used to be a DJ, I would just be playing in bars and nightclubs on Friday and Saturday nights, playing whatever the radio was playing that week. He's an astrophysicist also, says Surf. Interesting. And made his own guitar, says Andy. And used a quarter for a pick. I didn't know that that's who did that. Somebody said that Matty J88 might have known that from the other day. I feel like we talked about that here. Somebody said something about that. I'm not sure if we're seeing any of the same questions that we've seen in the last many weeks. They've got an AI system back here, and I refreshed the questions, but I just let it do it itself. So Andy, Grinch, and a few others got that. Almost everybody. Interesting. Which Disney character sings the song "A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes"? That one I wouldn't know because it's after my time, I believe, and I could be wrong. When I was very, very young, of course, I'd watched some of the Disney movies, but I quickly stopped. So anything that was any more modern than Lady and the Tramp, I wouldn't know. Grinch just putting multiple answers in. Popping the Popcorn is a huge Disney fan, eh? That's Katie. She reviews a lot of movies, so anything that's going to be movie related, we might be up against, like I said, a pro. Cinderella, interesting, and Grinch got that. Wow. Along with Sean in Katie's kitchen. This is weird. See, no matter how many times we do these games, I wonder if it's just because there's 3 specific people who answered. I got to go back and watch the replay of the stream. All the games should be identical. And when we have this screen that comes up showing 2 or 3 people who got the answer, I'm not sure if it's changing or not, if that makes any sense. Which song on Daft Punk's Random Access Memories features Pharrell Williams? This one, I have to know, because I still play it today. Pete may even remember. Pete was there last year when I started doing that gig. Never got that place to work out the way that we were hoping. Trying to rebuild. They had closed for 2.5 years after the pandemic, but they've got a festival in town later in August, and I'm going to be there again. But even then, get lucky every day. Every day is a guaranteed floor filler, still to this day. And again, hopefully everybody's enjoying what we're doing. And we can stay for another hour if everybody would like, or close to it. Weatherstand forever. Thank you, Katie. I'm popping the popcorn. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys this, and like I said, we might bump it up to the next level after the summer if everybody's enjoying it. Every week, I'm just trying to change one or two things. The singing cowboy Gene Autry is credited with the first recording for all but which classic Christmas jingle? Watch this one because it's a bit of a trick question. I'd be guessing this. Andy's guessing again. So interesting, yeah, a few of you got that. Andy, Sean, Matty J88. These are trivia pros. I think they've all been with us every week. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. But this is the first week, I think, that I scheduled it so far in advance, right? I'll do the same thing after we're done today. I'll set up the one for next week. So it'll be ready either tonight or tomorrow. And it'll be ready to go for a week. Everybody can catch the notification if you'd like. The band Muse released their first album, Showbiz, in what year? I don't even know if I've ever played anything from that group. It didn't get yours, Katie? Well, here's the thing. It might have. And forgive me because I could be wrong. It might have registered because when the next screen comes up, it'll show you 2 people who got the answer, and then it says others because there's more than 3. So if there's 3 people, it shows all 3, it looks like, and then if there's 4 people or more, it shows just the first 2. But it's possible, like every other computer system thing, not to be perfect for some reason. We'll see, but thank you everybody for playing along. And there we go. So 1999 would have been your answer there. I wouldn't have known that at all. We got a few more music questions and we'll move on to another for sticking around too, because I always in my head when I think about what we're doing here, I wonder if people enjoy only the type of trivia that they like. That's why I thought categories would be more popular than they actually are. Do people who want to talk about music, movies, and television only want to do that? Or is trivia just trivia and people who like trivia like everything? What is the frontman's name from the metal band Megadeth? This one I'd be guessing. I wouldn't know. That's another group I wouldn't have played much or anything from. I just play the cheese. Whatever every DJ is playing on Friday and Saturday is basically what I'm playing. I used to do some radio work and this and that, but that was always top 40 pop stations, never any of the rock stations. But we're learning a lot. Granny filming again. Good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Margaret understands. Yes, we like trivia when we get it right. Absolutely. And there you go. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that. Wouldn't have even had a chance. But that's half the fun. That's what I was saying earlier in the stream. I think I diverted what I was saying, but Scratch and PPA pointed out after the first time we did this that it's a chance to learn a lot. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it absolutely is. Which group performs the song Crash Into Me? Another one I wouldn't get. My dear goodness, I got more to learn than I think. That one I wonder too. I wonder how many people are guessing and how many people know. It's an interesting selection of answers that they had there. The Grateful Dead and Destiny's Child both has options. I don't know if we'll see that very often. John was a guessing on that one. Oh, thank you, Crying Hippie. Yeah, I appreciate every moment that everybody can spend, even if you're just coming by quickly to give a hello or a thumbs up or just hanging out or running the stream in the background. There's always a couple of people doing things like that. I'll always appreciate that. But one thing's for sure, the longer you're on YouTube, whether it's running a channel or as a supporter, if you're just enjoying videos and things like that, it becomes harder and harder to support all your friends as much as you'd like because it grows, right, over time. Which of the following is not a studio album by the band Pink Floyd? I noticed the Streamlabs reminding everybody to follow me on Twitter, but I got to now go and look. I wonder how much Elon Musk might have paid for the domain x.com. So interesting. Not a studio album by the band Pink Floyd. So who did that then? Who did Moving Pictures? If you guys don't mind teaching me something. Yeah. Rush. Oh, interesting. Yes. Okay. I didn't get that. Actually, oh, was that... oh, Andy got it. Andy mentioned that earlier. Yes. Thank you for that. Yep. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to retain. Who was Kung Fu Fighting in 1974? I might finally know one of these. This one I think I know because I just read about this particular artist. One of my favorite remixes of all time is of this artist's other big song. There you go. It seems like almost everybody knows this one. And there we go. That's our music trivia. We'll see in another moment who our leaders are. who's got the most right answers for this game. Each of these games, as you can see, lasts about, I guess it's more like 20 minutes, right? It said 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll move on to another category in another moment. We'll move on to science. Cringe, yet. You caught how I was saying that, right? Almost everybody. It's okay, I promise you. It looks like today, out of all the trivia we've done, I would have got the least number of correct answers out of the whole group. Not sports, not science, says Oilers fan forever. Andy says I was around in '74. I was around, maybe not quite old enough to know, but that's funny. And then, so let's move on to the next category. So good work, Sean, Andy, Matty J. Thank you again. Thanks everybody for playing along. We'll keep this going for another 45 minutes or so if everybody would like. You got a couple minutes right now to grab a drink if you'd like or anything else. Thank you, Ariel Williams. Thank you for being here. Thanks for playing along. We'll see. We'll see what happens now. I'm almost surprised to know how many people enjoy science as a category. I wonder if I can put a poll out quickly. Oh, you can only do 4 answers? We'll do it another time. Puppet Short Films, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. I always appreciate even a quick hello. And if anybody hasn't already given a thumbs up, I hope you will. Might be surprising, though, knowing that a certain category of trivia is going to come up, and maybe thinking like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to know any of the answers here or many of them, but we could be wrong, you know? Never know until the questions come out. Again, this week, I didn't really pre-screen the questions. I don't even know what the questions are that are going to come up. If I peeked, I don't even remember. Because there's just a simple refresh button, if you can imagine. It lists 10 questions with their answers. You click a button, it changes them all up. You can change one or you can change all of them. And you can enter your own as well in the system. Oilers fan forever. And thanks again, everyone, for playing along. We'll move on to another couple of categories if everybody would like after this. I thought we'd go a little bit longer today. We've been capping these at 1 hour. But we'll go like 2 hours today and see how everybody feels about that. Which is the longest bone in the human body? This one I happen to know. A friend of mine unfortunately got into a car accident and broke this. And had quite a disaster for a very long time. And he's fine now. But that was a long recovery. Yeah, from what he had described, as bad as we could imagine it was worse. And there you go, the femur. I haven't been keeping track of how many answers I think I might have got right, but I think we could count them on one hand today. Thank goodness I'm not playing. Oh goodness, Andy, I hope not. Oh. How many planets are in our solar system? This was an interesting one. I think I know the answer to this, but I think there was talk of changing it. Oh, by what everybody's answering, I'm I'm way off. Way off. HK57, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody. Thanks everybody for being here. If we do have a couple friends that are lurking in the background, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully everybody will give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. I thought there was 10 and they changed it to 9 or something. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not sitting here counting the names in my mind, but boy, you all know something I don't. 8. Interesting. Yeah, there must be there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so 8. Yeah, there we go. I would have got that wrong. Is that what it was? Yeah, I would have been wrong anyway. But they stopped considering Pluto a planet. That's what happened. What is the powerhouse of the cell? You've all got me on this one. If anybody gets this right, you got me. Thank you, Grinch. See you soon. And thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Yeah, I don't even remember hearing about this. This doesn't even ring a bell for me. Oh, interesting. Wow. The rest are crazy answers, says Granny filming again. Red Bull is a great answer. Which of the following blood vessels carries, oh dear, deoxygenated blood? I'd be guessing. I feel bad. I should know. I gotta start learning some of that stuff. In between the questions, again, for anybody that does have a YouTube channel in the chat, you can just type !link, and Nightbot will come along and drop your link for everybody so they can get to you easily. Oh, interesting, Andy. A chemistry degree. If I had ever paid attention in chemistry, I might have enjoyed it. I was way too worried about numbers and statistics and money. I thought I was going to be an accountant, and I took a accounting class in grade 11. I quit that almost right away. I When they started talking about debits and credits and everything else, I was like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with running a company. What was the name of the first artificial Earth satellite launched by the Soviet Union in 1957, apparently? I would be guessing, but I would guess along with everybody else here. I would guess along with what everybody else is picking here. Almost everybody. From the movie Gravity, isn't the Soyuz the space station? Or is it the transport vehicle that takes you back to Earth, the escape vehicle? There you go. I would have been guessing, but I would have got it right. The easiest way to answer is always with just the number in the chat, 1, 2, 3, or 4 to pick your answer. Just because everybody else is going to be doing the same thing, so it's the fastest way to get your answer in, because speed counts as much as right answers here. Who is the chemical element curium named after? I'm not sure if that's curium or curium, so forgive me for being wrong. Has to be curium then, now that we see the answers. You can tell I'm still using the internal system here because it gets those spelling troubles when punctuation comes up, things like ampersands and things like that. But if we continue this after the summer, if everybody wants to keep going, I'll do this more professionally, if you want to put it that way. Clean it up a little bit, and I'll get an AI system popping questions and answers, but I'll go through them to make sure we don't have any of that silliness in the answers as well. Matty J. Thanks, St. Louis. The asteroid belt is located between which two planets? I'd be guessing on this one. My dear goodness, are we ever learning a lot today? Florida Claimers Ted is in the house. Another lottery ticket scratcher that happens also to have been a DJ. Yeah, just by going back over these questions, I'd be learning a lot. The reason I wanted to start these casually is sometimes I take things too seriously, and I know it's a lot more fun. I wish to be more fun, let's just say. So the idea was we'll just try these out and see how everybody enjoys it, and see if we can build it up on its own. Everybody in the chat can kind of chime in, let us know what they think, and what will make this more fun, more enjoyable. And we'll see. But like I said, I intend to keep them going until about the end of the summer, and then if everybody wants it to continue, we'll do that. The biggest distinction, oh dear goodness, I see a couple of different words I got to think about pronouncing here. Eukaryotic, is that right? Distinction between a eukaryotic cell and a prokaryotic cell. The Stock Explorer. Likes when I tell stories. They're all true. They're all true to the best of my knowledge, as much as I can remember. I promise you, my memory is not what it once was. I'm convinced that when I was a young lad, we learned about what a photographic memory was in class. And I've learned later on it's better described as an eidetic memory, right? And I remember learning about it and saying, I want to have that. And I'm going to try to, like, trick myself into thinking that I have that so that I actually have it someday. And I insist that for years and years and years, I could look back on a memory, and if we'd known each other, let's say 20 years, I could say, remember that day the wind was coming from the northwest, you were wearing a yellow shirt, we just had hot dogs, I had mustard on mine and you had ketchup on yours, you know, or something like that, and you would have to look at me and say, like, I can't believe you remember every detail about every single thing. That went on for a long time. After 40, around the mid-40s, my memory started to fade a little bit, and now sometimes my sister and I, she's younger than I am, but we will tell stories that have different endings. And I'll have to look at her and say, uh-oh, maybe you're right. I might forget. Which noble gas has the lowest atomic number? This one you'll all get me on. The most recent story I told like that with my sister, for instance, when we were very young, one of us received a Wayne Gretzky doll for Christmas, and it's very much like it was made to be identical to Barbie dolls. And I insisted in the story, I was like, remember Mom and Dad gave me the Wayne Gretzky because they wanted me to play with you, and so that would be like my way to play with you because I don't want to touch Barbies? When I was young, right? She's like, no, Wayne Gretzky was mine. She's like, I'm the one who liked Wayne Gretzky. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, yeah, you're right, I think you did. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I forget my own childhood. So, not as eidetic a memory as I thought I had. So, good work, Andy in St. Louis. A few people got that, which is great. Phone a friend, yeah. Can I use a lifeline? Where are we at? One more question. Which one of these elements is a metalloid? You guys would have got me on this. I would have thought I would do not bad with science, considering math was my thing. I don't think there's any such thing as algebra trivia. We'll do some YouTube trivia in between while we wait for the next category. We'll see who our winners and leaders are here for this round. We'll move on to movie trivia in a minute. I think Popping the Popcorn is still with us. She'll be happy to have that. Oh, was it last week, Sean Barnes? Yeah. See, I'm taking this... actually, I'll do sports right after movies, Oilers fan. And then we'll see where we're at for time. But we'll definitely do 2 more categories, so we'll probably go overtime, just over 2 hours. Popping the popcorns there. We'll see who our winners are in another second here. Our leaders for this category. St. Louis, wow. And Aramoon is doing well again. Cannibal on the board, so thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for playing again. two chemistry questions, right, says Andy. Interesting. Okay, so we'll give it a few minutes, but I'll give you an extra bonus question right now. Which country is referenced in Scratch and Pete PA's latest video production? It was released today. Pete always puts out his videos on Tuesday. He has put out a video every Tuesday at 12:15 Eastern without fail for over 2.5 years, if you can imagine. but he put out a bonus video today. There's no multiple choice on that. The only way to know is to know. And if anybody has a YouTube channel, I know most of us have YouTube channels in the chat. Some people in the chat today are what we call supporters. But if you have a YouTube channel, then you could just type !link, and Nightbot will come along and drop the link for your channel. Everybody can connect to you easily if you'd like to. There's my link for TubeBuddy as well. Everybody with YouTube channels that hasn't already used TubeBuddy, I actually use that thing. Oh, did I say country? Yeah, there you go. Oh, Aramoon, Scratch and Pete PA is a friend of ours. He's in the chat as a moderator. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's been a dear friend for a long time. He actually supports every single thing that I do, but we met through YouTube, right? And he always puts out videos, but he does such an incredible job promoting everything that I do, not to mention, and supporting everything that I do, not to mention everybody that he ends up meeting. So I just put extra focus on the fact that he put out a video today, because it's unexpected. And we're lucky because we have a now you're a trivia question. Yes, we have a community of YouTube channel owners, if you want to call it that, YouTubers, right, that all support each other. And it's really cool, because then the idea of competition is very much changed, because on YouTube, you know, it goes without saying, but you know, popping the popcorn is somebody who reviews a lot of movies. But let's just say if I did a movie review on my channel, we don't have to pick one or the other. It's not a restaurant like you have dinner at one place or the other. You can't have dinner at both. But on YouTube, you know, to watch a video, you can watch both videos. And lots of people do, actually. When I watch a how-to video, I usually watch about 3 different ones. What breed of dog was Marley in the film Marley and Me? I actually didn't see that movie. I know it's extremely popular. Trying to imagine the movie cover in my head. Yeah, I think it would have been a guess either way. Would have been a guess. Ah, Maddie J. Oops. We'll move on to sports after movies. We'll probably go till about quarter after midnight, it looks like. And I don't think it'll quite be 12:30 or anything like that, but just to get that last category in. I know actually Oilers fans have been wanting sports for a while. And thanks again, everybody, for playing along. Every category, of course, has 10 questions, right? Which of the following is not the name of a Bond girl? I'll leave you with this for a second. I gotta run away for a moment. I'll be right back, though. Right, pardon me for that. I would not have had a clue. I've seen a lot of the James Bond movies, but I haven't seen all of them. Imagine, is popcorn or pizza? Rigged. Surf says rigged. Which of the following was not one of the Magnificent Seven? Oh, this I should know. Yeah, but I don't. So that's okay. I'm trying to convince myself I'm going to know any of these answers. Refund for sure. Wonder how many people are guessing on that too. I wonder how many of us in the chat, I say us, but everyone in the chat is guessing on most of the questions. It's all guesses, says Andy. Yeah, see, I wonder. I wonder. Surf says so too. We got a while to go on movies. And then thank you, Margaret. Which movie released in 2016 features Superman and Batman fighting? This one's not fair because I'm sure we did see this question actually another in the past couple of weeks. So they must not have the most extensive catalog in the system when it comes to the questions. Although I don't know how much we expect, like, to see the same questions again and again. You'd have to really be paying attention. What I'll do at some point is use an AI system to build, it'll take a little while, but build out, let's say, 1,000 questions. 20 at a time from different years, different categories. Keep them in a spreadsheet so that I can always make sure we're getting new stuff. And so that the questions will span across different generations as well. One of the things I enjoy in life is marketing. Probably too much, actually. But when it comes to the idea of trying to keep people happy when you're presenting different things that are supposed to be fun, one of the things that's an idea is we think about generations often with, parents, grandparents, and things like that. A generation could be about 20 years, let's just say. When I talk about generations, often I will talk about the idea of high school or college being both about 4 years, right? And you always have brothers and sisters and stuff like that, siblings, cousins, and everything else in similar age groups. Sometimes somebody might like a particular type of music, but their older brother and sister like something just slightly different a few years earlier, but they still have all the same memories because of each other's influence, if that makes sense. And so therefore, when mixing questions up from different categories, I might think about mixing things up in 4-year spans. So we'll see here a question from 1993 and then something farther than 1997, like maybe even into the 2000s, so that it really moves along. We don't get stuck in one span, right? Which animated movie was first to feature a celebrity as a voice actor? Aladdin. I wouldn't have known that. I didn't see Aladdin, actually. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that it wasn't being done before that. Wow. Tom Hanks? Yeah, not sure. Surf. Have you seen the Carly Rae Jepsen music video? I only know this because she happens to be Canadian, right? But the Here's My Number, Call Me Maybe. If you haven't seen that video, that's worth watching. That I promise you. I don't often say like, hey, you got to go see this video, but if you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing it just for the pop culture reference that's in it. But you'll understand after looking at it. But they did a great job there. When was the movie Con Air released? I'd be guessing on this, but I did see it. I enjoyed that movie. I can't remember if I saw it when it came out, but I watched it a few times. It would be either on television. I might have had a DVD at some point or something like that. Oh, did we see it? Oh, Andy, yeah. It makes sense. Maybe that's why it's fresh in my mind, actually. Yeah, we saw this a couple weeks ago. Maybe, yeah, I'll try to do something about that, maybe even as early as next week, is get some of our own questions so we're sure that we don't see the same stuff again. I really do appreciate everybody coming back, especially week after week. I know a few people are here for the first time today for these trivia streams, but we've actually been doing them for about a month. Who starred in the film in the 1973 movie Enter the Dragon? I don't think I saw this, actually. Snap your fingers, yeah. The other thing, too, is once this is running, it looks like it can't be edited either. As soon as you're live, it's an interesting system here. For those of you who live stream and think about things like this, it's not like StreamYard and the other systems where you have a go live button. Once you set the time, you have to be ready because it's just going to go. She stole my thunder. Good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. It's another fellow Canadian from the Montreal area. Andy and Arrow were quick on the draw on that one. We still got a few more movie questions going on, and then we'll move on to sports. We'll leave it at that for today, but that means probably another half hour or so from now. Hopefully everybody's enjoying these games. Learning a little bit. I'm learning a lot. Who directed the 2015 movie The Revenant? That'd be a guess for me for sure. You see what I mean in that fourth answer with the trouble that this system has with those punctuation marks. So we'll try to get rid of those as well. We'll try to clean this up for next week. St. Louis, yeah. That's been a problem since the beginning. It's funny because this system actually has an AI host that you could put in instead of hosting it yourself. So for the first, I forget if it was a week or two, I used the AI host, and then I decided to come on and just do it so we could talk, right? But the AI host has a lot of trouble trying to read that stuff, and it's so funny because it's not perfect, and the AI host was sometimes giving the answer to the question while they were talking in between the questions, if that makes sense. We got a couple more and then we'll go on to the next category. Yeah, you got to be quick on the draw here, Ara. Ara's been good today for that. Being quick. In Jurassic World, what is the name of the dinosaur that is a genetic hybrid? I don't think this is the exact question we saw, but I think we've seen a Jurassic World question before as well. I think I saw this. I think I saw Jurassic World. I've lived, now I live in Niagara Falls, but I've lived in Toronto, Canada my whole life, right? Up until the last 7 years or so. And while my son and my nephew were growing up, we would go to movies all the time. My son and I would go to the movies almost every single week. We had a movie theater, and Pete will know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's been to Toronto will know what I'm talking about. But Woodbine Centre is a shopping mall that we have close to where I grew up. And they had this theater, and it used to be a Cineplex. It used to be like a big brand name theater and everything else. But they just changed it, and over time, you know, the smaller companies have taken it and made it into more of a budget theater and this and that. But they had this thing going on for many years called Two Toonie Tuesdays. And in Canada, we have a $2 coin. We have a $1 coin and a $2 coin. We call our $1 coins loonies because they have a loon on the back of them. And then the toonies are just called toonies because it's double the value of a loonie, right? I'll finish the story in a second. The 2016 Disney animated film Moana is based on which culture? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the name of the film because this is another one I didn't see. When we used to go to, I don't live with Jeff Crying Hippie. I stay at Jeff's place when we're working. If we work a couple days in a row, then I stay with him. He's got an extra room because I can't drive to Niagara Falls every day. I wouldn't be able to do that, right? Margaret lived in Toronto for a long time. Anyway, this place had a movie theater, and they called it Two Toonie Tuesday. So as well, Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, had their $2 Tuesday thing, and they would give you some kind of a box of chicken, whatever, a tiny little thing for $2 or whatever. So we would go for movies, Two Toonie Tuesday. We would go for KFC every week. It was like a routine. And then I'd give my son cash to run over to the dollar store. I was far too lazy to run to the other side of the mall, but he'd run down to the dollar store and buy us each a pop and a chocolate bar. We call them chocolate bars in Canada, but a candy bar, right? And we would walk into the movie with our contraband hidden in our jacket pockets and stuff, of course. But there would be change from a $20 bill, if you can imagine. That's snacks, that's dinner, that's movie. All for $20 with change. And that's Canadian. So worth a fraction of American. Andy, Maddie, Surf, thank you very much. They all did extremely well. Next one is sports. So Oilers fan will be happy. If anybody needs a drink or anything, we'll be back. The next question will start in just under 3 minutes. Yeah, Dollarama. Oh, Dollar Cinema. That's interesting. She stole my thunder. Thank you, Crying Hippie. And then thank you so much, St. Louis. All three of you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for that. We'll be back on Monday, same time again. We still take our own movies into the movie theater. I don't mind trying to support whenever I'm out, in places and this and that. Like like last week, I went to the movies. We just bought our snacks at the counter and way overpaid and everything else, right? And that's fine. But I think it was more for the comedy than anything else. I think what we would actually do a lot of the time is get popcorn at the movie, but we'd still sneak our chocolate bars in. And our drinks. It's so funny too because everybody in the theater knows you do it because we'd have bottles of pop and you hear the tss when you first open it, right? There's no way everybody didn't know what we were doing, but I imagine enough people are doing that as well. Thanks everybody again for playing. So we'll do this category. This will probably last just over 15 minutes. And we'll call it a night for today. But I really do appreciate everybody hanging out. I want to give it some extra time today, see how everybody feels about this. And like I said, we'll keep them going until the end of the summer. And we'll see what's happening after that. Sports is not going to be my thing at all. So thank goodness I'm not playing today. Andy, Andy likes sports too. We Oh yeah, Jesse Miller. Thank you for that. What I'll do, I'm doing these now because it's convenient for me to do it on Monday nights. This is the um, best time that I can do this consistently, but it's just a test. So we'll see how this goes for a little while longer, and then mix things up after the summer. Yeah, we didn't go to the. I don't even know if the theater we went to the other day had a VIP. Not all of them do. In Canada, we've got this company called Cineplex, and I'm not sure if that spans outside of Canada. Cineplex Odeon, it was called, but they have these movie theaters. It's huge, like almost every movie theater is Cineplex, right? And they have this VIP section now where you can have food, you can have like drinks, like drinks, and which team won the 2015-16 English Premier League? I'm putting Granny filming again to sleep. Yeah, they got this VIP section, and it's interesting. So the psychological aspect of that is this: if you're going into the movie theater, let's say on a date, whether you're with somebody or whether it's a first time, and you see people going into the VIP section, it's going to be really difficult, I think, to not say, "Oh, let's spring for the extra money and go into the VIP section." But I've been in there once. I don't even remember. It was 10 years ago, and they keep that going today. Interesting. That one stumped everybody. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Jesse Miller. I would have been. I'm lost with this particular question. Margaret says, "Forget VIP." Yeah. Driving's much easier to bring everything in. I just bring a huge cooler full of stuff. The Rio 2016 Summer Olympics held its closing ceremony on what date? Wow. These are supposed to be easy questions, too. When you set up this system and you pick the questions, it asks you if you want them to be easy, medium, or difficult. Oh, yeah, Scratch and PPA knows Bessie Miller very well. Oh, interesting. She stole my thunder. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like some of these theaters, they start to really age too, right? And I mean, like nice seats are nice seats, but after hundreds, if not thousands, of people have been in them, it's not much like anything. Not much different than anything else. Even the office chairs that I have to replace every few years. I wouldn't have got this. I wouldn't have had an answer to either of these sports questions yet. But that's okay. I'm learning as we go. Everyone knows this. Surf, yeah, imagine. Which city did the former NHL team, the Nordiques, originate from? It took me a second to think about it because I had to try to remember how I had heard. Like, you got to try to remember the voice in your head saying, like, how did you hear this? Like the television broadcasts or whatever. My grandfather growing up would let me stay up and watch hockey. I just didn't want to go to bed, right? So he'd let me stay up as long as I was quiet and actually watching the game. Like, you could stay up late and I won't tell on you, but you got to watch the game. And he knew I'd just fall asleep on the couch, I'm sure, within minutes. Um, Yeah, Quebec City. So I would have got that. It was almost a guess. It was a guess. It would have been a guess, but I was sure that I was right as a guess. But just being Canadian, I would have heard it a million times, right? It would have stood out. We'll see what's next. Each one of these categories has 10 questions, of course. We keep it going another 15 minutes or so. What year did the New Orleans Saints win the Super Bowl? It's funny, there's a movie, I always like the movies that are about like Facebook and Apple, like the Steve Jobs movies and stuff like that, and they reference that in the, they reference something in the Steve Jobs movie, the one that's literally called Steve Jobs, and he goes, in the 1984 ad for Apple, he goes, you know, there are more people who could tell you about the ad than could tell you who won the game. And I think that's true almost every year about a lot of different things, especially the halftime shows, right? Oh, goodness, Oilers fan, what happened? Oilers fan was looking forward to sports. We're looking for Oilers fan to be our leader. We'll see. Is that which one it was in Trivial Pursuit? Margaret? What team did England beat to win the 1966 World Cup final? Wonder if a couple people in the chat will actually know this as opposed to guessing. Andy's with me. No idea. Oh, Oilers fans guessing on this one too. Yeah, you and me both, Oilers fan. Not yet. West Germany, interesting. I think there was a lot of guessing going on in the chat. On that one, and bowling was the term used for getting 3 consecutive strikes. This one I know with 1 second of memory, just because I used to bowl as a kid, but I worked in a bowling alley. It was like my first full-time permanent gig. I was still going to school while I was doing this, 40 hours of work and school at 16. That job was so bad for me because you don't do anything. You just wait for the machines to break and then you go fix them. And it's not really fixing them, it's just when things get stuck, you go make them unstuck. And that's it. But I would work an 8-hour shift and do about 30 minutes worth of work. The rest of the time was spent hanging around talking to people. It was so bad because it set a precedence that I expect for the rest of my life now. So if anybody wondered why is it that I work with my friend Jeff, why would you choose the work that you do, well, there's a little bit of history. Who won the Premier League in the 2015-16 season following a fairy tale run? That's another question about the same sport. Interesting. They make a joke about that in the office. One guy, Andy, and they're like, listen, man, you need a job with a lot of slack, eh? that's for sure me. If I gotta work for somebody else, I've been self-employed my whole life. This is the longest I've worked at one particular place. I worked at a few others, but even when I was working in radio and stuff, nightclubs come and go, but radio, I would quit. I quit Z103 4 times and got fired once, not in that order. I need a job with a lot of slack if I'm going to stick around. Yeah, Jesse Miller, I'm still not even sure. Oh, is it soccer? Oh, interesting. I didn't know it was called Premier League. Los Angeles Dodgers were originally from what U.S. city? I'd be guessing. Andy got one, yeah. We got a couple more questions to go. So thanks again, everybody, for playing along and hanging out. We'll be back next week again. We still got a couple questions to go here. And we'll see what's coming up next. Which year did Jenson Button win their first ever Formula One Drivers' Championship? Interesting how that question was worded. That's full of mistakes. And then thank you, Andy. Yeah, hopefully everybody's enjoying this. I certainly am. I really do appreciate every moment everybody could spend. I know we might have a friend or two running the stream in the background, so thanks for that. Hopefully everybody remembers that thumbs up too. Those really do help, so we mention that all the time. Interesting, that's a question that stumped everybody, including me. And then we'll see one more question. Margaret's making me laugh. We'll see one more question. And thank you, everybody, again for hanging out. Thanks, Scratch and Pete PA. If you haven't had a chance to see his video from today yet, I hope you'll check his channel and see what he put out. Which country will host the 2022 FIFA World Cup? This must be based on probably ChatGPT or some other back end that's similar. So talking in the future, but we'll have to see what everybody comes up as what it would have been. Then we'll see our leaderboard right after. So thank you again, everyone. I'll set up the next stream so that it'll be ready either right away today or at the latest tomorrow, so that we can have our notification. But it'll be the same time next week. Yeah, Surf. It's their questions must have been added a while back. Andy's shooting for 17th place. Yes, Matty J, Jesse Miller, and Ara Moon took the top position. So thank you, everybody, for playing along. I really appreciate you keeping me company for the last couple of hours. Thanks again, Pete. Like I said, thanks. You stole my thunder, the Stock Explorer, our moderators. And we'll see everybody again very, very soon. A Rigged Oilers fan. So